Hey guys, good morning, good morning. How's everybody doing today? Yep, my name's Jose Najarro. I here live stream about the overall stocks. Like always, guys, feel free to post on the comments any stocks you guys want to take a look at. If not, we'll just take a look at recent news. I am trying a new schedule right now, so I am starting now around 10 o'clock Eastern time. I did see a good amount of movement yesterday. I'm gonna see how it's working right now. I'm still trying out the different time streams. But feel free, guys, to post on the comments. Like I said, any stocks you guys want to take a look at, we can gladly take a look. Give me a quick second if you guys can to just let me set everything up. Make sure everything's open so we can start looking at some stocks, some recent news. I haven't even looked at how the market is today. I was just working on a future video, so sometimes I even forget putting in that work, right? So let's see what's happening. Give me a quick second to just set up. And like I said, guys, if you guys want to take a look at any stocks, feel free to post. I will take a look at them in the fundamental way. So we have some earnings today. I know we have what earnings? We have GameStop today. That might be pretty interesting for those that are into GameStop. Let's see. I think I should be good to show screen. Go to the overall trading view. Okay. Let's take a quick look at how the market is doing today. I normally just take a look. What's going on, ACG? How's it going? So first, I just want to see how the overall market is doing today. I have a few red stocks right now, right? I mean, it's to be expected, right? Most of my red stocks right now are Sorens. Sorens saw a huge run up. Josh, hi. I stumbled upon your channel while looking at Huya. Ah, nice. Huya is probably one of my favorite stocks. It was one of my favorite stocks last year. It's one in my portfolio right now. As a novice, I find your videos very illuminating. Thanks, Josh. And I just wanted to thank you for the great content you're putting out. Keep it up, Josh. I appreciate the support. It really means a lot. And if you have any questions, right? I don't know if you noticed, Josh, in my in every of my videos, if you go in the description, I have a link to my Discord channel. My Discord channel is free to anybody that wants to join. If you ever have any questions, either feel free to post on the YouTube comments, feel free to post on Discord, and I try to get back as quick as I can. I'm now kind of working on this a lot more than usual. So I don't have as much free time as I used to, but I definitely try to respond to every comment 100%, especially on the Discord channel. But there's also some great investors in that Discord channel that will definitely help out. Abel, any thoughts on Fubo TV and Tattoo Chef and Coupon? So Ben, what's going on? Good morning, folks. Your baby girl SE woke up in the green today. Yes, I was trying to look at my portfolio right now. We've had some green days today for sure. And Josh, actually, let me see if I can get you the link. So for people that want to, let's see, was a Najarro stocks. Let me just put it. Good morning, Q. How's it going? So let's see. My most recent video. I'm pretty sure if you go here, Discord group, yes. Let me just. I'm gonna just put it here, and actually, I should probably pin it for people that want to look at it. So it's free, like I said, and we have a lot of great investors there. Ben, Quentin, Dirks, same here, Josh. Josh, I couldn't agree more. Appreciate the support, guys. It really does mean a lot. My whole point of these YouTube videos, and I say it probably every single day, is just to make videos that I wish when I first started investing would have given me some form of knowledge. So I try to do that almost in every video. Actually, I think in all videos, I'm happy with my production. Lisa, good morning. Good morning. Ben, so obviously, as he killed it. Abel, which one would you want to take a look at first? I know you mentioned Fubo TV, Tattoo Chef, and Coupon. In form of list, I have Tattoo Chef in my portfolio, so that one's probably the one I know the most. Coupon, I have researched I want to say a fair amount, and Fubo TV as well. But those two, Fubo TV and Coupon, I don't have in my portfolio. So right now, what do we have? Huya, I mean, a lot of people are saying Huya is going up right now thanks to the short interest. That's one market that's one thing I don't really follow too much. Short interest is just something that would kind of move the stock price in the short term of things. I'm not saying it's a bad way to invest. Everybody has their own investment method, just not a way I personally like to look at. But there are a lot of people are saying some of the stocks here, like Huya Skills, have some nice short interest on them, and could be a good reason why some of these stock prices are failing, are jumping like crazy. What else do we have? We have NIU, one of my favorite EV stocks, up. Celsius is up again. This is a monster, right? Let's take a look. Unity, I think, is the stock I'm gonna. Ben, I do agree, right? All these, it sometimes, I wouldn't say it's worrisome, but I would feel some form of correction might be happening soon. But at the same time, I don't try to time the market, so it's not like I'm gonna do anything. When I see, right, Ben, when we see stocks going up like 20, I think yesterday Clover went up around 85% in one day. And so many stocks went up like 10-15% yesterday. When I see stuff like that, it's a bit worrisome. Unfortunately, right now, I just wouldn't really know. I'm not the timing expert, so I really wouldn't know how to deal with it. Unity is one I'm trying to do a video. I think I'm gonna do Unity today. Unity and Roblox might be two stocks I might be talking about on today's video, unless you guys have any other recommendations. All right, so Abel, we can take a look. I want to take a look at Tattoo Chef. I'll actually take a look at almost all of them. If no one else wants to take a look at stocks, we'll take a look at that one. Josh, could you check TDOC? It's in the largest components. Yeah, so in ArcG's Geonomics ETF, it looked like a really strong balance sheet to me on Simply Wall Street, but their goodwill and intangible assets have gone from 1 billion to 16.6 billion. So Joshua, Josh, I don't know why I keep saying Joshua. Josh, that's actually, we have to remember, right? When you see, I think certain flags aren't automatic red flags. So right, you're seeing in Q2 of 2020, this company has gone from $1 billion in goodwill and intangible assets to 16.6 billion. We have to remember that right, what happens, what has happened during those 2 years. So seeing something like that would put more of a yellow flag. I would first put it as a yellow flag and try to understand what happens within those 2 quarters. Josh, TDOC has acquired a company. When a company is acquired, a good portion, let's say a company kind of overpaid in form of assets, it would turn to goodwill. So they bought, I forget what was this company called. Which one did Teladoc just purchased? Freaking Teladoc acquisition. Livongo. So that's a huge reason for that boost in goodwill. I wouldn't really consider it a red flag, especially since Livongo. I have a very small position in Teladoc, very small position. So it's not like I'm trying to pump or anything. But Livongo is one of the best growers right now in the Teladoc platform. So you have to understand, okay, they bought this company, Livongo. Is Livongo worth what they pay? That's pretty much what we have to understand. So seeing that boost, I personally wouldn't put it as a red flag. What I do put as a red flag, and Abel, we're gonna take a quick look at your stocks real quick, but this question got me a bit interesting. One thing I do not like about Teladoc right now is their financial health, how it's looking now. So this company right now, even though they have about $1.4 billion in debt and only have $722 million in cash, they are a bit leveraged. The main reason I don't like them being leveraged right now is if you take a look at trailing 12 months, they are not positive in cash flow from operations, and they're not positive in earnings. They are expected to be positive in cash flow from operations within the next 12 months, which is impressive. After they get to that level, I would say it's okay for them to be a bit leveraged. At the same time, we've got to remember the overall telemedicine world is one that's continuing to boom. This is definitely a market that many believe is the future, even myself, right? The overall telemedicine. I mean, I hate going to the doctors. I prefer doing everything online or through video conferences. So I can definitely see the huge boost of this. And as technology continues to innovate, I'm pretty sure this product is going to get even better. Stock 77, appreciate that support. So what do you think about SoFi? Trying to get in but don't know what to do. Would 2021 seem like a good price? So stock 77 right now, obviously, Abel, let me take a quick look at stock 77. I will take a look at yours, I promise. And a few things. I know you guys are talking a little bit about, so I do get sponsored by The Fool, right? And there have so many authors there, and each author has different opinions, and that's why I really enjoy looking at their website, because you get huge understandings of different investment styles. It doesn't mean, and it's the perfect example of why one investment style is not the only way, right? It's just pretty good to come and listen to other investors and see how they're working. It doesn't mean you have to agree with them, but it's always great to just see that my investment style might not work perfect for another investor. And at the same time, any video that I post, guys, just I'm pretty sure you guys are familiar. Any videos that I post, even though they are sponsored, they are my decision to make, and they're all my thoughts. No one has any creative control of my videos or any form of direction I should take a video in. So I don't know. I'm pretty sure most of you guys in here know that. But I do get a lot of comments in that people believe that the stocks I'm viewing I'm getting paid for. I'm not. All the stocks I view are my decision, and my thoughts are my own thoughts. Greystone, agree. I don't like the idea. I don't like going to the doctor's point. I think it's, especially only if it's a test, right? But if they just need to give me the results of tests, why can't we just do it over the phone? So I definitely hate going to the doctors for sure. So let's take a quick look at stock 77. He wants to look at SoFi. So SoFi is one, stock 77, that I have done a good portion of videos on before. If you're new to my channel, I feel like I've seen your name before though. 100%. But there's so many people that use the name stock something that I could be wrong. But I've done plenty of videos. If you go on to, even if you go and search and you put SoFi Jose Najarro, just in there, I have what in the past, I have about I have about 4 stocks on SoFi. One as recent as 2 weeks ago. So it's definitely a good place. It's definitely a good place to start off if you want to see my full thoughts. But let's take a look at the stock now. Ever since I've done this video though, the stock price has overextended, right? This is one of those stocks that has kind of been trending recently. When I see a stock price like this, overextended from its moving average, stock 77, this is something that it doesn't deter me from investing. I just put in the back of my mind, hey, there is added risk. It means that the stock, it means that there is a higher probability that the stock can see a pull down, but at the same time, that pull down may never happen. So let's say I wanted to enter SoFi right now. How would I enter? If I was to enter, it would probably be a small position right now. If it got closer to its moving averages, I probably would enter at a bigger position. One thing I'm seeing is I keep it simple with my technicals. I don't really use it too much. But the first thing is I am seeing a lot of volume within this $20 price point. And like you mentioned, that's a price point you seem to be interested in entering, 20 to 21. At the same time, maybe if I was really bullish in the company, even if it's a bit overextended, I would open up a small position. A perfect example for me was Unity, right? So I pretty much talk about this stock a lot, and even though it's not the stock you want to take a look at, Unity is one that I've been very bullish on. And unfortunately, it has been overextended since its IPO. It has completely been overextended. So my buying prices have been like around these levels. But since I saw the company was overextended, I only opened up small positions every time I bought in. So every time I bought in, I just bought small. Not until recently, when I saw this correction, has Unity become one of my biggest portfolio positions. And that's because I still kind of want to get skin in the game, but at the same time, I knew there was that added risk. So that's kind of how I play when a stock is overextended. I believe now I'm finally green on Unity. I think my price point was like 97, my average price. But Unity, when I was buying here, it was probably my number 20th position size. Once it got here, it became like one of my it's my top 5. I think it's my number 4, maybe even my number 3 position size. So that's how, if I was to play SoFi right now, that's how I would do it. I would enter small positions, get some skin in the game, and kind of play from there. I think SoFi, if we take a look at their investors relations website, the overall company is pretty impressive, right? The market that they're hitting, I mean, first, they do everything, right? Invest, personal loans, student loans. I do think this is a great thing about their product. I kind of hate going to, I have student loans. I have one student loan left. I have, for example, home mortgage. I have credit cards. I have insurance. I have auto financing, and I have to log into all these different websites. If I would have known about SoFi a bit earlier, most of them are gonna get paid off pretty soon, so it's not like I need it anymore. But when I probably had bigger loans, I would have enjoyed this, everything in one application, which would have allowed me to not remember all these passwords. So I do believe SoFi is in a pretty cool market. I can see people continuing to use this. And let's take a quick look at their investors presentation. I know I took a look at it during that video, but let's take a look. Where are investors relations? Investors right here. SoFi investors. They did give us their Q1 presentation. Let's see, resources. Where is this? Present investors relations. Oh, they gave us Q1 summary. I mean, I think the number of members growing per quarter is insane. This is what you want to see. Every quarter you want a quarterly increase and year-to-year increase, 110% compared to the same time last year, and at the same time quarter-over-quarter growth. Their total products are continuing to increase. They also did the acquisition of Galileo, which was, I do think, a smart move for them. And Galileo, very similar, is seeing quarter-over-quarter and year-over-year growth. This company has gone from I think this is going to be the first year that the second year that they are going to be adjusted. Let me take a quick look. Adjusted EBITDA. No, this is going to be the first year they are going to be adjusted EBITDA profitable. So things are looking pretty good. 2021 guidance, you can see 2020, their adjusted EBITDA margins were negative. So SoFi is I wouldn't say a growth stock that is hitting that turnaround point. And that turnaround point is pretty much when things like this happen, when that adjusted EBITDA margins are in the positive, when the company's overall is still seeing strong growth. We saw that total member growth, annual growth for 2021 is still expected to be 58%. I mean, overall, SoFi is definitely looking pretty impressive for a long-term hold. The only major red flag I would want to say right now for SoFi is stock 77. It's just the overall where's that paper? It's just that the overall stock price right now is a bit overextended. So if I do want to enter the fintech, SoFi, I wish I would have entered here, but I was kind of entering other stocks. But right now, overcorrection is probably my only red flag on SoFi at the moment. Other things I would definitely keep an eye out though. And the other things I would keep an eye out though is if they have any form of blackout dates, not blackout dates. What is it called when the stock kind of, when insiders are able to sell positions? Man, I forget what that's called. But see, when are insiders able to sell a position, that might cause some form of reaction to the stock price. So that's something I definitely would take a look at. So ACGL. What age scenario is the day when you decide to sell all your positions? ACG, I don't think there's ever gonna. At the moment, I'm 28. That's if there ever comes to that scenario, it'll probably be way in the future. Lockup period. Thank you, Anthony. I sometimes I just get brain fog. But yeah, I would definitely check out if SoFi has any lockup period and see when it opens up. And ACG, yeah, at the moment I don't think I have any time frame of when I would sell a position. Maybe when I become like 45, 50, I might start thinking a little bit more into some form of dividend plays or something like that. but that's still about 20 years for me for now to even think about something like that. So unfortunately, I think that's more of experience, and everybody has a different financial impact in their life. Um, so I think everybody has to understand where they're at financially to determine, hey, is it time for me to kind of pull out and stuff like that? At the moment, I personally don't see a scenario where I would do that. Xavier, good morning. Good morning. How's it going? All right, so let's see. Where were we? Josh? No, I think Abel was first. Let's take a quick look at Tattoo Chef. So let's start off with Tattoo Chef. Then we're gonna take a look at some other stocks and see. And hopefully, stock again. Appreciate the support. It really does help out the channel so much. And I hope I was able to provide some form of service to you there. And again, those were just my overall thoughts. So first, Tattoo Chef. Looking at the overall stock price, technicals. Remember, technicals don't really drive if I sell or buy a stock. It just determines how much I buy if I want to enter a position. So Tattoo Chef right now, you can see, is pretty much overextended from its moving averages. So the only thing I want to say here is there is a higher risk, not the guaranteed. There is a higher risk of a pullback right? I mean, we tend to see it here, right? It gets overextended, then it kind of pulls back. It gets overextended, it kind of pulls back. It doesn't mean it's always gonna happen, and one doesn't know how much overextension will happen before the pullback. But I do believe there is the added risk. If we take a look at Tattoo Chef in forms of fundamentals, this is one stock that I like a lot. Future growth, right? This company is one that I do want to say be careful, right? So if we are ever looking at Tattoo Chef, and right, I think it was, who was it? Josh. So you had a good eye. You kind of noticed something in Teladoc. This would be something an investor should also notice. Like, wow, constantly you've been kind of giving us this kind of earnings, and then 2020 happened, December 30th of 2020 happened, and earnings grew that much. That has to be, even though it's a great thing, investors have to put a yellow flag and have to understand. So what happened here was a one-time gain of something. I forget what happened, but it was only a one-time gain. So even though earnings and PE ratios look pretty nice at these levels, earnings are gonna drop back down because that was a one-time gain. So things like that, investors have to. If you ever see a big change in anything, either a good or bad thing, investors should always try to understand what happened. But regardless, this company is profitable. Unfortunately, they're not positive in cash flow from operations, but they're expected to grow at some great levels. Financially, they are in a great state. They have plenty of cash compared to debt. I really like their fundamentals. The only thing, like I mentioned, was their technicals were looking a bit overextended. Tattoo Chef has been making some great moves, right? I know they recently finished the acquisition of New Mexico Foods, and they're launching new products, right? So Tattoo Chef is one in my portfolio. It is a tier 3 stock. Tier 3 stocks are usually small positions in my portfolio, and I do believe small positions can be a big winner. For example, one of my perfect example is Celsius. Celsius in my portfolio was a super small position, but now it is over a 500% gain in my portfolio that it has become one of my biggest winners. So that's why I have a tier system where even a small position, I don't mind entry and having a stock in a small position, because if the gains go, and the gains will go, especially if we find some of these multi-baggers, they can make a huge impact. Celsius, like I mentioned, if we take a look at it from cost basis, it was probably less than 1% of my portfolio. Now, because of all its gains, it has become about a 5% position in my portfolio. So that's how even a small position can really drive growth in your stock. So at the same time, I do a mixture of both, right? I kind of do some of my positions, right? My tier 1 stocks, there are 4 stocks that I'm really into, and those 4 stocks hold roughly, my top 4 or 5 stocks hold roughly 35 to 40%. So I do believe concentration is great in a portfolio, but at the same time, I do believe even having small positions in certain stocks that you believe can be a multi-bagger are also a great way to accumulate wealth. And Tattoo Chef, right? We're seeing they just announced they're every May 18th they announced vegetable products in Whole Foods. They completed their acquisition of New Mexico, which is going to open up new facilities, new production facilities. Is also going to open them up into the whole tortilla market, which is a huge market that I never thought about, right? With the overall quesadillas, with burritos, with tacos, soft tacos. It's definitely going to open up a whole new product for the company. So Tattoo Chef is one that, even though the stock price is overextended, I'm having it in my portfolio. No thoughts about selling. And if we do see a nice correction and I'm happy with my other over positions, I wouldn't mind adding some more. So April, those are my thoughts. At the same time, this is something that, look at it, in just the past few months, it has been very volatile. I think this volatility will continue. But no weekends here, diamond hands, right? So not worried at all. 33. Oh, 33. I see you a lot on the comments. Afternoon from Dublin. Appreciate the support, and thanks for all the comments, man. I do appreciate it. I see you on the comments on almost every video, and I'm sorry, I don't know if you're I'm not sure, but appreciate the support. It means a lot. Every little comment on the YouTube channel helps so much, so I appreciate it. ACG, is Simply Wall Street your favorite place to get info and news? I wouldn't say it's my favorite place. It's my favorite place to get quick information on the fundamentals of a company. If I ever want to take a look at recent news, I pretty much go to my broker, ACG, and this company, and Q. I kind of missed a few. I missed a few, so I'll go back up. I see I missed one of yours. So Simply Wall Street, a quick way to look at fundamentals. If I want to take a look at recent news, I take a look at my broker. That's Fidelity. If I want to take a look at price targets, I kind of use TD Ameritrade. I created an account. I don't even have money in TD Ameritrade, but I do believe a lot of brokers have a lot of free products for if you're a customer, if you have an account with them. So TD Ameritrade is one I use to kind of look at price targets by analysts. And my favorite one to look at fundamentals, unfortunately, I don't use it too much here on these streams because they are it's a bit hard, longer to kind of do fundamentals, to do a full in-depth analysis. But Lazy FA, this is the program that I've been using since I first started my YouTube videos, and you can get so much information. It's a lot harder to use. I want to say it takes definitely a few months to understand all the products that they do. But here I can take a look at historical revenue, historical charts from all their 10Q reports. I can take a look at quarterly, trailing 12 months. I can take a look at revenue growth. I can take a look at so much here. And this is probably for doing self fundamentals. This is probably my favorite one. And then also to take a quick look at recent news. Obviously, Motley Fool, seeing what's trending. This helps me understand what's happening in the market. StockTwits is another one that helps me understand what's trending on the market right now. So those are probably my main sources of information. CNBC from time to time as well. But again, for fundamentals, Simply Wall Street, Lazy FA are probably my first goers. Y charts as well, but Y charts is super expensive in my opinion. I only get it due to my partnership with certain programs. So that one's probably one I would only use. I only use because of partnerships. So let's see. I know I missed some questions. Let's take a quick look. And guys, if you guys want me to take a look at a stock and I might have missed it, feel free to post again on the comments. So Q, you want to take a look at PSTG? We'll definitely hit that one next. Let me just put it here. Let me just see if I missed any questions I can answer before. Oh, Pure Storage. I feel like I've heard of this one. Hey Sal, I'm sorry, I might have mispronounced your name. Do you have any opinion on Tiger? Is still a good buy, or should I wait for I'm guessing you mean a destruction or a dip? Thanks a lot. So we can take a look at that one in a bit, Chow. At the same time, I'm not one to say if it's a good buy or a bad buy. I'm more just one to say, hey, I see a little more risk. Just because it has a little more risk to it, it doesn't mean it's a good or bad buy. It's just something I personally understand. Every investor has their own risk tolerance. I understand mine, and because of my risk tolerance, if I see something a bit risky, I would kind of put it on hold. Even if the stock price still kind of goes up, I'm happy not buying a stock sometimes because I saw that, hey, it had it that added risk. So let's see, what else do we have? Xavier, more great news, more South Central American countries looking to adopt. I saw yesterday, Xavier, last evening, the president of El Salvador was actually on Twitter Spaces. Are more Twitter wasn't Twitter Spaces kind of talking. Jamal, you are just blah blah blah. You make me lose AMC squeeze. Poor you, Jamal. I mean, go. Best of luck to you and your squeeze. Go put the whole. Never mind. I'm not even gonna bother. But Adam, what's up? Hope you are having a good day too, Adam. Things are looking pretty good in stocks right now. I'm pretty happy. A lot of my stocks are on the green right now, especially some of my big players, which is happy to see. I'm happy Unity is kind of waking up time by time, and enjoy it. So now let's take a quick look at Pure Storage for Q. So this is a market cap Pure Storage, New York Stock Exchange, as ticker PSTG. Pure Storage right now has $5.4 billion. And guys, if you guys are here, make sure to hit the thumbs up. It really does help with the overall channel. So Pure Storage provides technology and data storage solutions in the United States and international. The company delivers solutions based on their proprietary solutions. Okay, let's see. Software that implements enterprise-class storage services such as data reduction, encryption, and protection, as well as protocol services including block, file, and objective. It's cloud data infrastructure. Okay, all right. So we kind of see the market it's hitting. First, super small market cap, right? $5.4 billion. Future growth. This company is expected to grow 14.1% on average for the next 3 to 5 years. So I would consider this a nice growth stock for sure. First thing I'm seeing is this company is not profitable in earnings. Maybe they might be different if you're taking a look at adjusted EBITDA or adjusted margins. They might be profitable there. And I do believe that is going to be the case, because normally if you are positive in cash flow from operations, which this company is, and it has historical, since it's 2018, probably even further, it has been positive in cash flow from operations. So that's in my opinion a great thing. Its cash flow from operations tends to be about 10% of its revenue, so it has some great numbers there. Fundamentally, it's looking pretty good. Let's take a look at the balance sheet. Balance sheet is something I am enjoying as well. $1.2 billion in cash, right? And $763 million in debt. So right off the bat, huge fan of their fundamentals. They're seeing good growth. They are positive in cash flow from operations, and they are also they're not leveraged at all. So this would definitely be a company I wouldn't mind looking into it. If it was in my, I wouldn't be, in forms of fundamentals, right? The overall market, I'm still not too familiar with. But if a company with these types of fundamentals was in my portfolio, I wouldn't really matter. One thing, this is actually pretty interesting. I've never seen ARK being the #1 investor in anything. ARK owns about 11.6% of this business. I really could care less. Not could care less. I don't follow what ARK does. I take it with a grain of salt, but I like seeing what they do. Another thing, we're seeing the founder, he owns about 5% of the business. This to me was actually pretty interesting for sure. If we take a look at the overall stock price right now, PSTG, I do believe it's sitting at a great price, right? Plenty of volume where it's at right now. You can see there's a nice amount of volume right here. So I do believe a good portion of the risk. And look, this is why I like the volume, right? Volume, even though I wasn't looking at support levels in forms of price, it actually shows it, right? I kind of just put it where this volume price was at, and it hits right where this support right here. Let's see, it hit me right. It hit, I wasn't even looking, it hit perfectly at these levels, right? And you kind of see these supports here. And this is before even looking at the chart. And this is why I enjoy the volume profile. It's such an easy technical to use, and as long as you kind of have a rule with it, I do think it can help out. So with it not being overextended, if I was to ever enter right now, I do believe a good portion of risk has been eliminated. Obviously, it can continue to go down. But if I was super bullish in this company, now would be a time where I would really throw in a position. Let's take a quick look. Maybe we can look at their investors' presentations. let's see, Pure Storage. I want to see how their most recent earnings did. Pure Storage, investors. Oh, and for I know someone was asking, investors relations is probably my favorite place to really look at things. So they announced 12, not big revenue growth, right? They only grew their revenue 12% compared to the same time last year. But what they really grew was that subscription revenue. That grew 35% compared to the same time last year. And that's the great one, right? That's the one that is going to be occurring revenue growth. They are GAAP, let's take a quick. Non-GAAP margins, right? So they are non-GAAP gross margins of 35%. Let's see if they were... The deferred revenue, and that's one thing I forgot to look at. This is something I've completely forgot about. If you take a look at a company and they have high liabilities, a good reason they could have that high liabilities could be because of deferred revenue. So here, let's take a look at Pure Storage in Lazy FA. Let's show Lazy FA some love. So Pure Storage, right? Look at this liabilities. They have, it seems like their liabilities is pretty strong. They have about $2.72 billion, about $2 billion, no, quarterly. They have about $2 billion in total liabilities as their most recent quarter. But out of that, about $866 million is deferred revenue. Deferred revenue is what I would consider fake liabilities. So this company right now, in my opinion, has a pretty strong balance sheet for sure. Because that deferred revenue, that's money that's gonna eventually go into the other side of the balance sheet, and a great move. So Pure Storage Q looks pretty impressive. So let's see, is there any other stocks you guys want me to take a look at? And this is why I really enjoy Lazy FA. Lazy FA is probably one of the few that Lazy FA is probably one that doesn't sponsor me, but their product is just so cool that I really do enjoy giving great thoughts about it. So let's see, what other stocks? I know someone else mentioned few stocks. Feel free to repost them. I might have missed them. Uipath, and actually I think Xavier might have given me one. SAP. So Jonathan, we'll take a look at yours next. Uipath. But let's take a quick look at Xavier. So Xavier, let's take a look at SAP. Is this a United States SAP Tech, or is this I forget what flag? I'm horrible. Norway. I was gonna say Norway. I really was. So Xavier, SAP, this one, the Norway one. If not this one, regardless, it seems pretty interesting. SAP Tech designs, develops, and produces smart EV charging systems in Norway. I don't know if this is the company, but let's take a quick. Hopefully this is, because this one does seem pretty interesting. Market cap of $3.1 billion, but I think that's maybe in the millions in United States to USD. So yeah, that's about $380 million market cap. So this is a super small company, right? They design, develop, produce smart EV charging stations in Norway. I actually want to take a quick look at their website, just to see, right, the overall solutions. It's a young Norwegian technology company. In just a short amount of time, has become the leader in the field of smart charging systems. Fully charged for your next adventure. So you can see, I mean, no matter what you drive or where you're going, SapTech Go is the surest way to power your journey. Built on leading edge Norwegian green tech, we created the world's smallest 22 kilowatt, that's max power charger, that's as smart on the inside as simply on the outside. Let's take a quick look at what, unfortunately, I'm not too familiar how the overall EV market is doing. I know Europe is pretty big into it. I just don't know how big the market is at the moment. Fits all electric cars and homes, 80% smaller and lighter than similar chargers on the market. Gets lower electric bill by charging when electricity is cheap. Oh, that's pretty interesting for sure. Wow, it's that small? So is this one that you can kind of like, you first charge it and then you can kind of take it with you. I want to see. I want to look at their video. Hopefully I don't. Let's see. Boom, boom. Go wherever and whenever. Mm-hmm. Zaptec, Powers of Venture. That's actually a pretty cool ad, not gonna lie. So let's take a quick look at their fundamentals, Xavier. So first thing, future growth. This company is expected to grow revenue 29.7%. This is actually one of the few EV stocks or EV charging stations that I can remember that is actually profitable. They're also positive in cash flow from operations. So that's pretty impressive. If we take a look at financial health, financially they are in a great place. Plenty of cash, no debt. So Xavier, fundamentally, this is definitely a company I would enjoy. If we take a look at ownerships, I honestly, since it was a small company, I would have expected more insider ownership, but not too much, right? It does seem like this Nordea or a few Norwegian asset management or investment management are pretty big into this company. Institutions own about 80%. Let's take a quick look at the overall stock price movements. And Zaptec, I don't think it can actually be traded here in the United States, unfortunately. But I do believe, look, a good correction has come. It's not overextended. If I wanted to enter this stock right now, it would definitely be a decent sized position. At the same time, you always have the added risk. There's not much volume after this $41. If it drops below then, I do believe it could get messy until about 30 something, right? There's pretty much no volume there. And usually when there's no volume, you usually see stock prices getting closer to the other volume area. But right now it is sitting at a nice area. You can see where it ended the volume. You can see that overall support. So overall, technicals don't look bad. Fundamentals don't look bad. The overall market doesn't look bad. The only thing is, it's a super small company. So with super small companies, it tends to be. I tend to see them be more volatile than normal. So let's see. Next, we can take a look at the other ones. Jonathan, you want to take a look at Uipath. So Jonathan, not sure how new you are to my channel. I definitely would recommend, if you ever want to check out a stock, just put the stock ticker and my name on YouTube things. But I have done Uipath in the past. Is it this video? Yep. So I've done Uipath. So definitely check out the video. I talk a little bit about it here. So Jonathan, I have a huge catalog. You're new, right? I talk about so many stocks, and if you ever want to know my opinion about them, and like I said, I'm gladly gonna talk about it right now. But if you really want to know my full thoughts, just Google my YouTube, my name, and just put the stock path. Especially if it's in the technology market, I have most likely talk about it. If it's let's say in the biometric, if it's somewhere in the health department, I normally don't talk about it. But if it is in the health, if it's in the technology, semiconductor, some form of software, I have most likely done a video on them. So that's definitely a great thing. And it obviously helps out the channel when you search my name and you search for the stock. So I talked about it about a month ago. Well, let's take a quick look at the stock right now. So Uipath, if I remember correctly, we're going to take a look at it in a bit. This is ticker PATH. This is a recent IPO. They have they call it robots, software robots is what they call, right? So Uipath, they have software robots for automating for the automation world. So let's say a doctor's office, right? I recently went to the doctor's and it sucks, right? So I fill out my name for all these forms like 1,000 times. If they had, for example, this automated software, for example, if it would make things so much easier. So here they show how the software can help. Example for healthcare, a doctor, right? They receive lab reports, open patient's report, enter the lab data, open letter template. Like they have to do a lot of manual stuff. At the same time, if you had Uipath, that 5-minute task becomes a less than 1-minute task. As the robot, which are these little guys, they're software robots, they kind of do a lot of the And these are like automated artificial intelligence robots that learn over time and become even more more efficient, right? They kind of do a lot of the stuff already. Actually, I don't. They're more just automated robots. Let me just make sure. Automated robots that you kind of program and kind of decide what to do. So the robot kind of already does all the manual work for you and kind of reduces a good portion of the job. So the product itself is pretty cool. I remember the video though, Jonathan. One thing I didn't like about the stock was its overall valuation. And I do know ARK is buying it recently, and they are pushing a lot of it. And a few investors that I kind of follow are also pretty big into the stock. Let's take a look. Unfortunately, it's a recent company. So it's been very volatile, right? It's been very volatile. It kind of opened up, I think, at 60 something dollars. Very volatile. So this is a stock, if I was to enter right now, I would understand the volatility behind this company. Another thing is very similar to what I mentioned with, I forget what was the stock. Make sure you check out for lockout periods. When are insiders allowed to sell this stock? Normally when insiders are allowed to sell the stock, you usually see a nice decrease in stock price, and they might be giving a nice buying opportunity. In form of volumes though, this $70 right now seems to be a nice level of support where a lot of investors have been purchasing for sure. So Jonathan, they will sell tomorrow morning. Okay, so that's something that's definitely interesting. It's not a guarantee, right? It's not a guarantee that the stock price will drop, but I do believe there is a higher chance of the stock price dropping. Right? Again, it's just there's no guarantee in the market. The only thing you can think about it is what is the probability of it happening, and if insiders are selling, are gonna start selling, I do believe there is a higher chance of the stock price dropping. So let's see what we can find out about the company in forms of here. This is really new to Simply Wall Street since it's a recent IPO, so I don't think there's too much information, but let's see. This company is expected to grow 26.8% on average for the next 3 to 5 years, so it's a nice hyper growth stock. So Jonathan, that is great. So I do think certain things are always priced in. The real question is how much of it has been priced in, right? So I read somewhere that I forgot where I read. I was reading a book, and there was a portion that said, so one investor was talking to another investor, and it was this stock price was gonna do bad. They had one stock was going to do bad on earnings, even though the company had already announced it. And inside the book, the person was like, it was pretty interesting that this person still said that even though investors knew, there's always that one big investor or that one person that did not know about it. So the real question is how much has been priced in? Because if one big investor's kind of overlooked it, if one big investor kind of didn't really bother looking at it, that alone can make a big impact into the overall price movements. So things are always priced in to some extent. The real question is how much of that extent has been priced. So this company, right, positive. Are they positive in cash flow from operations? Yes, they are positive in cash flow from operations. The one thing I really wasn't too happy about it was this company trailing 12 months has revenue of $607 million, but I believe it has a market cap of $37 billion. If we take a look at, let's say, Seeking Alpha, I want to take a look at what is the price to sales ratio right now. So forward price to sales is 36.63. Normally for software stocks, you tend to have higher price to sales ratio, but I personally think one of the biggest red flags is this valuation metric right now. It doesn't mean that it's gonna pull down. Eventually fundamentals can kind of reach to it, but 36.63 is pretty high, especially after remembering how the past few months have been for growth stock. It kind of gives me a bit of hesitation there. But besides that, right, valuation, eventually this company can just grow dramatically, that these forward price to sales ratio will contract eventually. At the moment, personally, I'm just not a fan for that reason. If I really was bullish in the overall market, I would just open up with a small position personally, and then just kind of add in over time, add in over corrections. And that's the great thing about investing here in the United States. Free trading and fractional trading is allowed, which allows me to do investment styles like that. So yeah, Jonathan, and let's take a, I mean, if we take a look at their investors presentation, I know they have it here. Let's see, investors, resources, resources. Where are you? Come on, make it easy for me. About us. Nope. Does anybody see investors somewhere? Maybe, there you go. Investors relations. Their latest investors presentation. So I mean, look, their annual recurring revenue rate has grown 65% year over year. 70% customer compounded annual growth rate. If they continue to grow customers, if they get big customers, that price to sales valuation can definitely kind of contract a nice amount. They already have, I remember, a good portion of customers. And again, I talk a lot about this in the video. But look, their CEO, they have a good team behind them. Their co-founder and CEO worked with Microsoft. They have people from Dropbox. They already have almost 8,000 customers. Some big players like AAA, TD Securities. Into technology, they have Adobe, Autodesk. They have CrowdStrike, Applied Metrics, Materials. So they have some big players for sure. In the retail, they have Chipotle, Toyota, General Electrics. Let me take a quick look. Let's see what else. I take a closer look at a lot of this stuff in the presentation, in the video. But look, rapidly growing that annual recurring revenue rate. Customers with over 100,000 revenue increasing dramatically as well. Customers with over 1 million occurring revenue rate, annual reoccurring revenue. I don't know what I was saying. Increasing strong as well. So overall, this is a growth company for sure. Like I said, to me, the only red flag I have is the valuation. So I hope you enjoyed that, Jonathan. In Norway is the most friendly country to the EV market. Oh, nice, Q. That's actually pretty interesting. Are they? So that other company might have been pretty interesting. SAP, right, for sure, in that market. And let me close out of some stuff, guys. I think I have too many stuff open right now. And I hope, like always, guys, if you guys are enjoying the episode, make sure to hit the thumbs up. It really helps out with the overall channel. So did I miss anything? Any stocks you guys want me to take a look at? And let's see, Anthony Bixman, Tattoo Chef. Let's not forget the Target said the test trial was the most successful product launch. This is a good sign for me. Oh wow, I don't know why. So I did not see that. That's actually pretty good. Target said test trial was most successful product launch. That's pretty impressive. You know, for most of the time, I've actually been trying Tattoo Chef's cauliflower rice, and I don't know, I would just buy it from Costco, and I never, even though I was an investor, I never realized it was the Tattoo Chef brand until I think a week ago or 2 weeks ago, I went to Costco and I purchased it, and I'm almost like, oh wait, I've been buying Tattoo Chef for some time now. That's actually pretty interesting and funny story for sure. Quentin, EV owners Norway are heavily favored by tax incentives. So that's pretty good. Let's see, which one was the stock? I know I just missed one. AA, so AA, and Honest seems to have unlimited growth potential. Honest, I feel like I've heard of this stock. Let's take a quick look at this company's stock price. Well, Honest company. Honest manufactures and sells baby purse. Is this the one that's Jessica, that artist? Is it Jessica Alba? I forget. I feel like we've looked at this one. But I remember there was some some actress that kind of was behind this company. So the Honest company, they manufacture, they sell babies, it seems. They manufacture and sells baby, personal and beauty care products. So that's pretty interesting for sure. Let's take a quick look at the overall stock price. So this is Honest. So first, look at the overall stock price. I mean, it IPO'd at a very strong levels. It's seen a nice correction ever since. I do want to say this is probably a good support level for sure. The $15 area. Right now, it does seem like it's a bit overextended from the moving averages. Doesn't mean it's a bad thing. Not as overextended as before, but there is some form of overextension. Again, that doesn't mean it's bad. It's just an added risk. If we take a look at the company's future growth, this is one that's expected to grow 15% on average for the next 3 to 5 years. I mean, people are always having babies. People are always are wanting to improve their overall beauty care products look. So definitely a market I can see growing. Form of cash. Unfortunately, right now the company is not profitable and they're not positive in cash flow from operations. So if I was to ever invest in a company like this, it would normally start off as a tier 3 stock unless I was super bullish in the market. If it was super bullish in the market, it always has the potential of being a tier 2 or a tier 3. So now I understand this is a company not profitable and it's not making money from its everyday business. Now I would have to take a look at their balance sheet. So if we take a look at their financial health, financially they're looking pretty good. They have plenty of inventory, they have plenty of cash, they have no debt to their name. So I'm really liking that. I want to take a look at what's the market cap. If I actually could have seen it here. So market cap is $1.6 billion. Another thing I want to take a look at is this financial health might not be. So yes, so their financial health might actually be a lot stronger. This is financial health of December 30th of 2020. They just recently did an IPO. So because of that IPO, that cash and short-term investments is probably a lot stronger. They have a lot more cash right now because of their recent IPO. So their balance sheet is probably going to look even stronger than it does now. Let's take a quick look. Maybe they have some information on Honest Investors Relations. So yeah, okay, yes, Jessica Alba is the founder, the CEO. They have a great, it seems they have a team here. They announced their first earnings on Q1 of 2021. So maybe we might see actual positive in cash flow from operations right now. Let's see financial informations. Did they share any information for most recent earnings? It doesn't seem like it. Let's see. I have my microphone kind of blocking my, let's see, quarterly results. No, so not much information right now. I'm pretty sure they have a presentation, but let's take a look at the overall website, right? So, I mean, it looks pretty interesting for sure. I do think influencers right now, and I would consider Jessica Alba, right, a huge celebrity, to be a huge influencer, and that's definitely gonna drive a nice amount of customers to this type of product, and then the overall community does its own type of advertisement. What I do want to see in their most recent quarter, I do believe this is a bit early, right? There's not too much information for me to look into, so I would really be interested in their Q1 reports. Fundamentally, they are going to be in a great place for based on what I saw right now. But what I would want to take a look at is, are they positive in cash flow from operations for this quarter? How much are the revenue? Are they growing? Are they growing at faster than expected? And also, how much are they paying for advertisement right now? Or is this a company that's collecting a good portion of customers through just understanding of the influencer and stuff like that? So I couldn't. Unfortunately, there's not too much information for me to go about to really look at fundamentals right now, and I do apologize. And guys, I do believe this is gonna be my new time on live streaming. I started at 10 a.m. Eastern time. I see a little bit more action from the viewers here, so I am gonna move my times from 9 Eastern to 10 Eastern. And I definitely appreciate the support. Stocks, if you're still here, I do appreciate that financial support. Obviously, reasons like that is why I'm able to continue to do this channel. So thank you so much. Guys, I am done with today's live stream. I hope you guys enjoy it. Take care. Let's all hope we have a good trading investing day. Best of luck and see you guys tomorrow. So catch you guys later. And let me